Hi boys and girls. I'm gonna go over the explanation for the lesson like I would if we were in class, and then we're gonna go through some examples. So I think it would be best for you if you watch the explanation, and then once we get into the example part, you can pause it, solve it on your board or on your paper, whatever you have, and then start playing it again to check that you did it right. That way you kind of check yourself if you're understanding the concept before moving on to actually doing the assignment. Okay, so today we're doing improper fractions, which is fractions that are greater than or equal to 1. So usually, remember, fractions are part of a whole, right? But these are improper or incorrect fractions because they are larger than the whole. How do we know that? Well, if we look at our examples, 26th, right? The numerator is greater than the denominator. 13/4, also improper, 45ths, and 56/56. Now, if you notice, these three all have a greater numerator than the denominator. This one, they're both the same, 56/56. But we've already learned that when the denominator and the numerator are the same, that fraction is equal to the whole. So this would equal one whole because it has all the parts of the whole. They're the same. Okay, so let's go over how we're going to correct these improper fractions. Now I'm going to take you through the steps, and the way that you're going to write your answer would be in a mixed number. Okay, so let's start with this one. Remember, a mixed number is a mix of a whole number and a fraction, so 6 and 2/3. Similar to the decimals that you did last week that were greater, they had a whole number, the decimal, and then the decimal part, which is similar to the fraction part. So let's go through these. 26. So the first step is divide the numerator by the denominator. The numerator, remember, is the top, and the denominator is the bottom. So the numerator, 20, divided by the denominator, 6. Can 6 go into 20 evenly? No, but we're going to get as close as possible. So we know that 6 times 3 would give us 18. We subtract. 10 minus 8 is 2, so our answer would be 3, remainder 2. Now, like I said, we're not done. We have to write it as a mixed number. So how do we do that? Well, the next step is to write the quotient as the whole number. Remember, the quotient is the answer, right, before the remainder. So how many times it went in equally or evenly? So for this one, our quotient is 3. Then we're going to write the remainder over the divisor. What is our remainder? 2. What is our divisor? Remember, divisor is the one that we divide by. So our divisor is 6. So it's 2/6. Now another way to remember the denominator is that it's going to be the same denominator as you started out in your improper fraction. So our last step is to simplify the fraction. Simplify, remember, means that we divide it by the greatest common factor to make it the smaller fraction, the simplest fraction, simplest terms. Okay, so what are we going to divide 2 and 6 by? Well, we have to see what is the common factor of 2 and 6. For this one, we would do 2. Okay, so we're going to divide them both the same because whatever you do to the top of the fraction, you have to do to the bottom of the fraction. So our whole number, that stays the same. And then our fraction, 2 divided by 2, would be 1. 6 divided by 2 would be 3. So in simplest terms, our mixed number is 3 and 1/3. So 26 is the improper fraction. We fix it, we make it a mixed number, 3 and 1/3. Okay? I'm going to erase it so we have space to do the next ones. Alright, so we're going to do the next one, which is 13/4. So first we're going to set it up. How do we divide? The numerator divided by the denominator. So the numerator, 13 divided by the denominator 4. Now here's where you're going to stop, pause it, try to solve this problem, go through all the steps, divide it, get your answer, and then set it up correctly as a mixed number. Then play the video and check that you did it right. Okay, go. Alright, so we're going to divide. 4 can go into 13 how many times? Again, it's not evenly, but we'll get close with 3. 4 times 3 is 12. We get 1 left over, so 3, remainder 1. How do we write that as a mixed number? Step 2, the quotient becomes our whole number, so 3. The remainder over the divisor, so our remainder is 1 over our divisor, which is 4. Again, the denominator here and the denominator here are the same. Now, can we simplify 1/4? No, it's already simplified. Whenever you have 1 as the numerator, that's it, because 1 only has a factor of 1, so you can't divide it by anything else. So our final answer would be 3 1/4. Okay? Let's do this one. That one's going to be a little bit different because it's not going to give us a mixed number. Sometimes when we divide, we get just the whole number because it goes in equally. So for example, our numerator 40 divided by our denominator 5. How many times does 5 go into 40? 8. 40, subtract, we get 0. Now, are we going to write remainder 0? No, we don't need to write 0 because nothing is left. We don't have a remainder. It went in equally. So for this one, we're going to write our quotient as our whole number. We don't have a fraction, so we're done. It goes in evenly, 8, and that's it. Okay, I hope this video was helpful. If you paused it and you did it like I wanted you to, good job. If you got it wrong, go back, watch it again. Check out the notes, which is under the files part of the Plus Portals. It's like a notebook page that I wrote all this stuff down. Maybe you want to print it out or look at it while you're doing your assignment. Your assignments is workbook page 109, and then this is the textbook pages 300 and 301 in case it's helpful for you to do it, or if you want to practice a few more problems before you get started. Have a good day.